And welcome back to the show. The Jewish Association Serving the Aging is a leading expert and an innovator in aging services, recognizing the diversity among the aging population and honors older adults as vital members of society. Now, the organization provides critical services to over 40,000 people in New York City annually. And joining us now to share more about the programs and give us some tips is the co-chief program officer of JASA, and that is Danielle Palmisano. And thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for inviting us. Very pleased to be here.
Yeah, so I gave my viewers a little bit of an intro into who you are for somebody who may not be so familiar, and what I left out, you go ahead and take it away.
Sure. So JASA, we are very proud to be the go-to agency serving older adults throughout New York City. We provide critical services to, as you mentioned, over 40,000 older adults annually. And our life-changing services really allow older adults to age with purpose and dignity in the community, and helps provide autonomy to those who really need some extra supports to remain in their homes safely and in their communities. JASA ensures that the needs of seniors are met through, we provide affordable senior housing. We are one of the largest nonprofit managers of senior housing in New York City. We, in addition, provide services such as home delivered meals, legal services, mental health support, protective services, innovative virtual programming, and community building initiatives. We visualize our organization and our work really in kind of three different pillars. We are a provider of health services and home care services. We're a licensed home care agency. We are a landlord providing affordable, safe senior housing, and a provider of social services and case management to help ensure that older adults have the services that they need to remain safely in the community. And one of our biggest priority is really to make sure that we help support older New Yorkers so that they can age with dignity. We provide social workers, group programming, case management. We have services on site at a number of our affordable senior housing programs, and want to make sure help support people so that they can remain independent, connected to people, that they're connected to the things that give them pleasure in life, and that we help just make sure that their needs are met.
And so when you talk about services and home care services, obviously very vital during a time such as this. Talk to us about seniors, and particularly after COVID-19. I mean, a lot of people were definitely directly impacted, but we're talking about a most vulnerable population right now. And so how are you able to navigate the services there?
Yeah, COVID certainly changed the way that we do our work, as it changed everyone's world. And those that were most vulnerable in the community became even more vulnerable. JASA adapted the way that we do our work very quickly, but we maintained all of our life-sustaining interventions throughout the city, organizing things such as grocery deliveries, helping older adults get their vaccine. We've arranged vaccine clinics and booster clinics, transportation. In the early days of the pandemic, when individuals, were having a hard time getting groceries and other needed supplies, JASA social workers were out on the front line making home visits, helping arrange for deliveries and accessing needed supports and supplies such as PPE and all other things that individuals needed, and that frail elders really were struggling in order to identify and secure on their own. And again, we work with a lot of people that are very isolated in the community. They don't have family members that they can call. They don't have other people that could really help them manage through all of this. Yeah. Another thing that we did was we implemented a lot of virtual programming. So when the senior center shut down, we were able to really continue to engage individuals so that they can continue to participate in different kinds of virtual social programming, educational programming, and also just different ways to get information out to folks.
And so can you tell me a little bit about, when it talks about food insecurity? I want to talk about that for a minute, because we talked about COVID. We know that got further exacerbated across the city for city residents, and more particularly for seniors, because when you're shut in and you really have to mask up and social distance, I know that a lot of people were really adversely affected. Talk to us about the effect that you saw, that you felt, and how you're able to combat that.
Food insecurity is a really growing problem throughout the U.S. There are currently, it's estimated 7.3 million older Americans that are currently food insecure. And how that affects us in New York is it breaks down to approximately 1 in 8 older New Yorkers have food insecurity. And as you mentioned, this was tremendously exacerbated during COVID. So one of JASA's services, we're a large provider of home delivered meals. To give you a size and scope of the program, last year we provided over 1 million meals to older New Yorkers. This operation continued throughout COVID. Many times our Meals on Wheels drivers and deliverers are really the only connection that an older adult may have. This continued. We also provide grab and go meals through our senior centers, just as senior centers throughout New York City. Service those as a meal provider that has continued during the pandemic. We also have, through our in-home support, social workers who help individuals access things such as food stamps to address food insecurity, help arranging for in-home grocery deliveries so that they're able to access the services that access the groceries that they need. And for those who may need assistance with meal preparation, arranging services such as home delivered meals for those who may not have it. Right now, JASA is currently having a fundraising campaign to raise awareness about food insecurity amongst older adults. It's called JASA Eats, and it is looking to raise awareness and also help raise critical funds to provide additional meals and additional services to older adults who are food insecure. We are launching a JASA Eats recipe book, and we encourage those who are interested to check out our website. It's jasa.org, and submit any recipes that you may have so that we can share this through our communities and with those that are interested in learning more. And again, just to raise awareness about food insecurity and raise critical funds.
Yeah. And we know here in the borough of the Bronx, we have a lot of our viewers who are watching, and there's some resources that you have that are actually available to those who are in the Bronx. So give our viewers a little bit of insight into some of the resources that are out there.
Absolutely. So JASA has a very large service presence in the Bronx. We currently have 8 senior centers. We have mental health services, case management services. We have affordable senior housing. If you check out our website, www.jasa.org, there is a map that will show all of our different service locations in the Bronx. We also have a help center where individuals can call to get some additional information. We've been a provider in the Bronx for over 50 years and have a really extensive network of services.
Yeah. And so as you're going forward into the new year, what would you like people to know about some of the things that you've got going on?
So again, JASA is, we are continuing to work through the pandemic, helping to identify those who are in need, continue to offer virtual programming, make sure that older adults are able to get access to booster clinics and access the services that they need. We want to raise awareness of issues such as food insecurity, and just want to ask folks to be mindful of your neighbors and your friends and your family members. We're all kind of managing through very, very complicated times, and it's even harder for those who are more vulnerable in the community.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming and sharing with us here on Open, and certainly for people who want more information, how they go about doing that.
So you can please check out our website, www.jasa.org, give you information on our JASA Eats fundraising campaign, a menu of all of our services, and how to reach us.
All righty. And then also, we want to thank you, Danielle, for being with us, and want to tell our viewers that if you want more information, yes, you can also check them out on social media at JASA Seniors, and you can find out all the great work that's going on there. Danielle, again, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having us.